to overtime. Dwayne Wade right at the body of Anderson Varejao. Welcome to your Kodak moment, Anderson Varejao.
Doncic pulls up, three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good! Doncic wins the game at the buzzer!
Moving on to 7, we have Tyrese Halliburton going to the Pistons. Great playmaker, great off-ball shooter. I would probably take Killian Hayes here as someone who would create his own shot and would not just create for others for, what is a talent-deprived team. But I think Luke Kennard could fit very well alongside Tyrese Halliburton. But he's just a smart player. He's maybe doesn't have the highest upside, but has an incredibly high floor. One of the better playmakers in this class, probably second best only behind LaMelo Ball. Incredibly good off-ball defender. Great team defender. Very good off-ball shooter. Shot something like 43% from 3. Has a weird shot, but if it goes in, who cares? I've spoken at length on why I really like Tyrese Halliburton. And I would love to see him in New York, but, he goes off the board 1 pick earlier here. Again, I think you need to take a higher upside player here if you're the Pistons. You are absolutely stuck in no man's land. It may just be smarter to get as much talent as you can, and whatever the fit is. Killian Hayes makes a lot of sense here. As a player who, has been improving at crazy rates in Ulm, the German club team. But let's talk about Killian Hayes and Tyrese Halliburton, the comparisons a little bit, because Killian Hayes goes off the board to the Knicks at number 8 in this mock draft. And, Killian Hayes is by far the better shot creator and shot maker for himself. Haliburton is better for others and off ball. Hayes has a lot of upside, and Haliburton probably doesn't. But what I can say with absolute trust is that Haliburton has the much higher floor than Hayes. And that's why I think you flip these 2 picks around, because Haliburton fits with the Knicks really well. You get a point guard who will create better looks for RJ. I think the biggest issue with RJ so far is that you just have him taking a lot of bad shots because he's flanked by, Julius Randle. And look, I love Taj Gibson, but he's just not a good player anymore. And Wayne Ellington and Reggie Bullock, a lot of players that just don't do a lot well. And even Elfrid Payton, who's supposed to be a pass-first point guard, isn't doing that. So Tyrese Halliburton, maybe not a franchise saver, but a source of stability. And I think the Knicks need that more than the Pistons, who are going into an extended rebuild period, whereas the Knicks have been in an extended rebuild and want to get out of it. Hayes is the higher potential. Put him in the place where he's going to get as many touches as possible. Haliburton is the more stable, more high floor option. Send him somewhere that actually needs him, and that will really use him as a starter and all that. At number 9, we have DC Washington Wizards taking on Yeko Okongwu out of USC. Great defensive big, very versatile defensive big. I have some issues with his offensive game. He's a good finisher around the rim, but he's a non-shooter. He's not great at anything else there. But how high is the ceiling for a non-shooting big? I think we've seen that Bam Adebayo is one of the top 5 bigs, but he can't. He doesn't shoot, but he has that playmaking that makes him. You have to guard him on the perimeter. It takes a lot of different skills to make shooting irrelevant. And I'm not sure Big O has that. However, it says here that per Kevin O'Connor, the Wizards general manager, Tommy Shepard, told him months ago that finding a big would likely be the top priority in this draft. With Wiseman off the board, with Tobin off the board, Okongwu is the best option. And, you can see, I can take the reliability there. I like Thomas Bryant a lot. Rui Hachimura, I'm still not a big fan. I think the box score numbers are still far bigger than his impact. But who else is there here for them? As far as wings go, they have Davis Bertans, who they're absolutely going to re-sign. Do they want a backup point guard? Doesn't really make sense with Haliburton and Hayes off the board. So, sure, Thomas Bryant can be a very good bench big, and then you just have Okongwu as your starter. I think it's a bit of a lateral move, and I wouldn't use the 9th pick on a lateral move, but I can see the reasoning behind it. Lastly, the last pick we're going to go over, I would suggest you all check this out. The Ringers 2020 NBA mock draft, done by Kevin O'Connor, a.k.a. Kevin Obama. But at 10, we have the Phoenix Suns taking Devin Vassell. I talked last week about how many issues I have with the workout video, in which he's just kind of catapulting shots out. He's a 3-and-D wing, and you would think that the Suns have enough of that, but there aren't really any crazy point guard prospects on the board to put behind Ricky Rubio. And maybe they want to move up using Kelly Oubre's contract and Ricky Rubio to get somewhere, or get some extra player. But I mean, I don't really know how they're gonna do that. I mean, I suggested Warriors at 2, move down to 10, using Kelly Oubre and the 10th pick for 2 and the Andre Iguodala trade exception. But even then, it's not the best option. I just don't think the Suns have a real ability to move up unless they want to give up future firsts. And with how volatile this organization has been, I'm not sure they want to do that, even if they want to go all in on this core. But Devin Vassell, fits any team well. He's a 3-and-D wing. He's what you want in the modern NBA. That's about all I'll say there. The draft's going to be fun this year. I can say that with full confidence. I want to talk about, I'll just give a short list of a few sleepers. Tyrell Terry out of Stanford, grew to 6'3" since the stoppage. Incredible shooter, great range, off ball, good playmaker. Would love to see him to the Timberwolves at 17, but the Magic at 15 make more sense. If he falls past the Timberwolves, which I doubt he does, he's a Minnesota native. But even then, if he does, the Nets could use someone like him, just to replace Spencer Dinwiddie, with him being kind of available in trade talks now and them needing more cap space, especially for a Joe Harris contract. Other than that, Robert Woodard, end of the first round. I think he's going to be a very good 3-and-D wing. Shades of Robert Covington, or even maybe Trevor Ariza. Desmond Bain, Rusty Buckets, the YouTuber, made a huge video about how much he loved Desmond Bain out of TCU. I don't think he really has any upside, but as a 3-and-D 2-guard who's a bit undersized but super physical, should be able to get on roster, should be able to maybe start, probably not, maybe be like a 6th or 7th man, could certainly do that. Shorter Danny Green would be my comparison. Malachi Flynn has been rising up draft boards. He is one of the better pick-and-roll playmakers, incredibly good at that, good shooter, incredible scrapper on defense. I really think he could be Malcolm Brogdon, which is why I love seeing him go to the Bucks. It just kind of works out. I'm a huge Patrick Williams fan. I've seen him go like late lottery, so like 12 through 15-ish. I think he has such crazy high potential as this, the second youngest prospect in this draft, only to Alexei Pukasevsky, the Serbian 7-footer. He's incredibly young. I think he's either 19 or 20 now, but like a young 19 or 20. That's, obvious again, but who cares? Super wide shoulders, 6'7", near 7-foot wingspan. Good, he was underwhelming at Florida State, but even then, potential will get you far. And if Patrick Williams even develops to like 55% of what he can be, he'll be a very good starter. So that's exciting. The polish isn't there, but get him to a good organization and it'll work out. Zeke Nnaji, maybe a 2nd-round pick, but a very good do-it-all big. Maybe not do-it-all big, but he will get you some offensive rebounds. Good rebounder, has some touch inside, a throwback type of big, but can still get you buckets as a 6th man. And the 6th man big may be coming back. Montrezl Harrell just won 6th man of the year, undeservedly, but even then. And he could be good value in the late first round for a team that really needs a big. watch the Raptors, watch the Celtics with their later picks. Maybe even the Lakers. Maybe the Lakers want to take a shot